Or Paul Benza. Coach, good afternoon. You guys are the home team here at Rufaro, a midweek fixture. How ready are your boys for this tie, especially given that you're playing a team that's also found form in the last couple of games? 3 wins in the trot for Czech Pirates. They're fighting for their lives. How much does that factor into how you guys have prepared for this game, and what are your own objectives going to the next 90?
Yeah, we are really prepared for the game. And we're happy that also we have managed to win the last 2 games. So for us, it's a challenge that we also want to meet what they've done. Having them win 3 games, we also want to surpass that. So we're going to try and fight today so that at least we win the game. We're not doing anyone any favor, but we always try to play also to win games, and that makes our boys happy.
Looking at those back-to-back wins that you've picked up in the league recently, what do you think has been critical in terms of turning things around for you guys? And going into this final 3 games of the season, what are the objectives for you guys as Herentals?
Yeah, firstly, we're trying to fight so that we finish in the top 8. But now we've seen that the top 4 finish is a reality, and that is what we're trying to fight for. And winning today's game and the next games for us is going to be very crucial. And one thing that was very important for us was keeping clean sheets, because the past 2 games we won 1-0, 1-0. So meaning to say that keeping the clean sheets and just converting 1 chance for us was very important to pick the maximum points. So going to today's game, we're going to fight again to try and have a clean sheet and at the end bury the game and collect the maximum points.
And looking at the 11 that will do duty today, any changes, injury or otherwise, to your squad for this afternoon?
We have N0VEMBER, our left back. He's injured now, he's in a plaster, and that's the change. We have brought in Dollar to do GT on that side, and also have brought also Tlakama, who has replaced Webster Dombo, and those are only the 2 changes that we have made in today's encounter.
Thank you very much for your time, Coach. I'll let you get back to your boys, and good luck
much
for the result. So that is the Herentals head coach, Paul N0VEMBER, and we will be building up to this match day 32 clash on the Castle Lager Premier Soccer League. You can get the picture here on ZTM Prime.
Thank you for joining us on match day 32 of the Kasolaga Premier Soccer League, and we are coming to you live from the heart of Harare in Mbari Rufaro Stadium, where here rentals, the students are playing host to survival chasing Chegutu Pirates Zinzare Zaire in a match that promises to be a cracker, with one team fighting for survival, another one fighting for pride, a rivalry that dates all the way back to Division 1 football. Last season were treated to thrillers in the northern region, and now renewing their pleasantries once more on the grand stage of the PSL.
As to quote the great say Alex Ferguson, it's squeaky clean bum time when it comes to the 2024 Kasolaga Premier Soccer League. The four Zinzare Zaire in an imperious run of form, 3 wins on the trot. That's the same situation for the students, back-to-back wins, but somebody is going to have to lose that streak today. So an intriguing matchup here at Rufaro. The weather is absolutely fantastic in terms of football. We've enjoyed some hot days over the last 48 to 72 hours here in the capital city, Harare, but overcast and possible chances of rain. But when it comes to weather football, this is borderline perfect international.
Perfect conditions indeed, and the two captains will go through their pre-match rituals. Tino Benza, of course, wearing the armband for the students, with Blessing Majarira starting on the bench today, and on the other side, Rafael Manuire. All the experience bursting through, putting a man of the match performance over the weekend as Zaire recorded their 3rd win on the trot, a 2-1 victory over Chikenine at the Baobab Stadium. And today it will be interesting to see if it continues his fine run of form. So the students will be playing host today, dressed in white and pink, with the Zinzare Zaire, the Sea Robbers, of course, one of the nicest kits if you're talking of the local football fraternity. But on the other side, the Sea Robbers themselves, Chegutu Pirates, rank outsiders in the Northern Region Division 1 Soccer League last season, but they stand all and sundry to grab the sole ticket to the top flight. And today, they are here to continue with their bid for survival. 3 wins on the trot, but can they do it in the remaining 3 fixtures?
Well, it's going to be one of the great survival stories should they do that. They're currently sitting on 29 points, 6 points off a safety. And usually the magical number when it comes to survival at the domestic top flight, Tinashe, is 40 points. It's mathematically impossible for them to get that, but they could just survive if they can actually get some results. But they have to get past the students today. The students themselves, they were initially chasing a top 4 finish, but now hunting down a top 8 finish, actually, now hunting a top 4 finish.
Definitely, as the old saying goes, it is hope that dies last. And today, as they send up prayers in the hope that some divine intervention will complement their execution of the game plan on the hallowed grounds of Rufaro Stadium, Zaire will charge into battle against the students. Fired up as a brace for match day 32, one of many matches that are taking place across the country today. The students, of course, recording a 1-0 win in their last outing in the league. Today, they are here to continue hoping to pick up from where they left. Chegutu Pirates were very impressive against the Gamecocks, former champions at the Baobab Stadium. They had an explosive start, racing into the lead inside the first half, and they hung on. But that man, Tinashe Mpuma, of course, lined up against Chegutu Pirates last season when he was still in Division 1 football, and he's back to try and haunt them again. Takuzwa Chikosi and goal for her rentals. A prayer and some meditation. It's the perfect calm before the storm. The students versus Zinza.
I don't know which storm you're talking about, the one that we're about to see on the field of play, or the storm that could be enveloping Harare in the next couple of minutes. But either way, it's going to be entertainment galore.
So Innocent Benza sets us on with the rentals taking the spot kick with a hint of rain in the air. Tanaka Tlakama is early as 10 seconds. So a first free kick will come in the very first minute for Chegutu Pirates. A team that has favored fast starts under Maxwell Takaendesa Jongwe, who, of course, famously secured top flight status for Yada on the last day of Premier League action last season. Called in to work his magic again, and safe to say, as far as recent results go, it's been going quite well.
He's building a reputation internationally as quite the relegation specialist. 3 wins on the trot for a team that had only won 4 in their first 20 odd games, and then to put in this performance at this stage of the season, quite impressive. But will it be enough to secure survival in the domestic top flight?
So those are some of the questions that will need to be answered today. By the time the final whistle goes off, the Zaire faithful will have an idea of how things will pan out. But a lot will depend on results from other games. And of course, there are many games taking place across the country today. We've got Green Fuel up against Wange in Chisumbanje there at the Green Fuel Arena. Bikita Minerals hosting Highlanders at Sakuva. ZPC Kariba up against Daramos and Nyamunga Stadium. FC Platinum at Mandava against Bulawayo Chiefs. N0VEMBER up against Simba Bora, of course, in a match that could confirm the Shamva Bay side as champions of the 2024 season. But whilst that is going on, it is Cheguru Pirates probing and searching early on, trying to find the early breakthrough in this game.
Yeah, lots happening across the country on the match day 32. A lot of eyes and ears will be at N0VEMBER. Obviously, Arano, the first team to have their relegation confirmed for the season. Attention will also be at the Greenfield Arena. Greenfield and Wange still very much in that relegation matrix, and Bikita welcoming Highlanders to Sakuva as well. And informed Highlanders, they'll be looking to potentially put something on the board to boost their survival chances. But Chekudu Pirates, Tinzare Zaire, started off very positively here, but can they conjure up something to continue the magical run so far?
Yeah. So Blazing Piri carrying the play forward for Herentals. He tried to pick the run off Sangari, a man called Mkiwa. Nicely done by Ditima. As crisp passing play from Cheguru Pirates, seeking the early inroads. But the pass to Manuire was just a little off bearings, and Herentals can breathe easy after this one.
But after watching Cheguru Pirates in these early stages, you would struggle to believe that this is a team sitting second from bottom. Aesthetically, they look like they could be a mid-table team, but the reality is completely different. But that's something that they're trying to change this afternoon.
Definitely a walking paradox, if you please. They can play some pretty eye-catching football. They know how to graft as well when they are called upon. But today, for them, the agenda really has to be 3 points. If they win their remaining 3 matches, including this one, the highest they can go is 38 points. And even that might still not be enough. But offside there up for Rafael Manuire, who had just strayed. Of course, he's got his sibling there, Maxwell Manuire, in the heart of defense for Cheguru Pirates. Herentals, of course, have got their own nice story of siblings in the team, with the Majarira brothers, of course, taking prominence whenever the students take to the field of play. Brighton is in defense this afternoon. Mpuma does well, but that is judged to have been a little too much by the center ref. And so Tinashe Mwafulirira just filling himself up, and he's back on his feet. A good touch of sportsmanship with Clemens Govu, who was the key man when Herentals recorded their first win over Highlanders in the top flight, scoring a brace at the Barber Fields, no less. So quite a season of some personal highs for the team. Tafadzwa Magadu in goal today for Pirates. Will have to summon his best distribution so that his team can exploit all that width and pace that they usually love to play with.
You can see Cheguru Pirates are very happy to knock it around the back. Some brilliant passing and incisive through ball down that left channel. But that ball inside, not quite having the same accuracy and giving Herentals an opportunity to clear the danger. But it's been some quality football that we've seen from Cheguru Pirates. They don't look like a team that is fighting for survival. They look very comfortable here on the grandest stage of Zimbabwe football, that is the Faro Stadium.
Yep, quite a good start as far as possession is concerned. Bossing the play, trying to carry the play forward. Dexter Piri back in the starting lineup after seeing out matchday 31 on suspension. He's in again. He's been one of the key performers for Cheguru Pirates all season. And you have a feeling that if they are to get a positive result, he will in some way be heavily involved in the proceedings. But he's got his work cut out for him this afternoon, Esther, as he has to keep an eye on the exciting Kundai Sangari, who is, of course, also slotted back into the starting 11 for the students.
Takutu Chikosi, also one of the standout players for Rentals throughout this 2024 season. A young, exciting goalkeeper. He can be a bit dramatic, but it comes with the territory, I guess.
Comes with the territory, but on his day, you can always rely on him. Doesn't have too many errors in him, and I mean, you can't begrudge him. He's under the tutelage of one of the finer goalkeeping coaches, Tsungai Mzamiri. But now Cheguru Pirates cutting in from the right. The perfect pass might just make it count. It's a chance. Brighton Majarira in the right place to stop that marauding run and attack.
That was a brilliant build-up off play from Cheguru Pirates, especially going down that right channel, that incisive cutback in there. But the finishing, they will be disappointed with themselves. They had the goal. And Takuzwe Chikosi at the amazing Domingo there, fluffing his chest, maybe seeing the headlines or the back pages of the H Metro Herald tomorrow with his name up there, but not quite having the same technique to keep it and put it in the back of the net.
Yeah, very interesting. That was quite some brilliant passage of play. With also Tinotenda Ditima was involved in that one, but Brighton Majarira, the men to take the initiative and make sure that no harm came to their chances. But now something for Manuire to chase. Tries to take it first time. Very good initiative, but didn't quite have the conviction, the short leg, the punch that he would have preferred.
You've got to love the intent that we've seen from Zinzere Zaire in the first 8 or so minutes here at Rufaro Stadium. They are not sitting back. They are taking the game to the students, trying to probe and find gaps there. But an opportunity now for the students to try and have a counter of their own. But an IB9 there, not quite having the delivery he would have wanted to. And position back in the hands of Cheguru Pirates, who've been very comfortable actually being able to just play it from the back, find those gaps. And this time choosing to go distance, but lots of space and judged offside there. But yeah, man, the intent from Cheguru Pirates has been impressive. Rafael Manuere there, he'll be one of the key players for Cheguru Pirates. He's been at the heart of everything positive that they've done so far in terms of trying to create chances and opportunities and obviously enhance their survival bid.
So the rental skipper Tinotenda Benza in some apparent discomfort as he goes down to ground to call in for some medical attention. And hopefully it's nothing serious as we get into the 10th minute of this matchday 32 clash here at Rufaro Stadium.
So Tinotenda Benza there receiving attention there. In the middle of the park. 9 minutes played here at Rufaro Stadium. Matchday 32 on the Castle Premier Soccer League. It is Rentals 0, Cheguru Pirates 0. Cheguru fighting for their top flight status. They found themselves 6 points away from safety. They have enjoyed quite a good run of form in the last 3 matches, 3 wins in a row, but they'll need more of the same this afternoon if they're to entertain what looked like slim hopes of survival. They'll be also paying attention to what's happening in Chisumbanje at the Greenfield Arena, where Greenfield are taking on Wange. Highlanders are away to Pikita, another team that's also in the relegation metric, that match at Sakuva. But also be focusing on what's happening at N0VEMBER. Could it be the crowning moment for Simba Bora, a team that has dazzled and impressed throughout this 2024 season?
And news coming in, obviously it's Walter Msona again, the big man for the big moments, has broken the deadlock in the 10th minute. So Simba Bora leading by 1-0 over N0VEMBER at N0VEMBER Stadium. And
We might as well put the champagne and ice, shouldn't we?
Definitely party time in Shamba. And of course, remember, a draw will be enough for Simba Bora and Tondera Indiraya to capture his first championship title as a coach. But here, a different kind of battle is going on as Cheguru Pirates maintain their audacious bid for survival against the Rentals.
So that goal by Walter Msuna for Simba Bora, his 10th of the season, and putting himself maybe as an outside chance, maybe a glut of goals this afternoon could get him back in the Golden Boot race. But hey, let's see. I'm sure right now the focus is on securing what will be a historic league title.
Definitely. And I think at the end of the day, it will be down to how much of a fight N0VEMBERs prefer to put up this afternoon. But here it's a free kick for Cheguru Pirates. And Ruben Machaya decides to play it short and incisive. Tanaka Tlakama with a timely intervention. So a chance maybe for Cheguru Pirates to restart and build play from the back with Tafadzwa Magadu. And a clear passage of play is beginning to form that they are favoring their left flank in terms of attack, with those raids just trying to pick up the pacey runners and maybe try to catch Brighton Majariri out of commission. So Wayne Kamurai, interestingly, donning the number 11 shirt for Cheguru Pirates. Domingo on the back. Interesting times. That's all we can say for now. They do have bigger problems on their hands today.
I think the focus is on what's happening in terms of the technical application here at Rufaro Stadium. And I know Maxwell Takanesa Jongwe, he'll be quietly satisfied with how his players have acquitted themselves. A bit of fancy footwork there from Tino Enza. He's a player who's been the player's choice, the fans' choice for Player of the Year last 2 seasons. Let's see if he can replicate that in 2024. But another attack maybe just dying out before it became anything for Zenza.
Yeah, of course, Benza and his legion of fans was also on the calendar last season. But this season started it brightly, converted into a wing back, and I think we saw a more playmaking role as part of his repertoire. But then he's been on the move quite a lot, with at least 2 trips abroad at some point this season to try and fine-tune some technical aspects of his game in Europe. He's back now maybe to try and steer the students to a respectable finish, a top 8 target like you earlier on alluded to. But I think Celestino Paul Benza has done quite well this season when we are talking of teams that have had unbeaten streaks. 3 teams really come to mind: Manika Diamonds, Simba Bora and Rentals, a 9-game unbeaten run in what was obviously their finest patch of form this season.
I think you look at their short history since their promotion to the top 5 in 2018. They're a team who have established their status as a mid-table team, and this time around, the fact that they're challenging for the top 4, I think, speaks to the progress that they've made. A lot of conversations were heard after the departure of Kumbirai Mutuekuzua, who was a man who had been at the heart of a lot of the positive stuff that the students had done. But you know what? Paul Celestino Benza is done quite a good job, but it shows the importance, Nasha, of having a system and structures in place. And I think in terms of Rentals, they've been very good at that.
Definitely, and of course, Paul Benza, a fine footballing brain, if you ask me, a tactician of very good repute. His rivalry with Cheguru Pirates also dates back to last season, obviously, when he was in charge of the Rentals under-20 developmental side, and they staged quite some stormy encounters at Motor Action Sports Club before Cheguru Pirates confirmed their top flight status with a 1-0 victory over Rentals under-20 at Pupajena. But now, on the attack, just a little too high for Cheguru Pirates, who have to stay steady and keep the ball moving. I mean, it's a bit of a slightly wet outfield there because of the shower of rains we got earlier on in the morning, so the pace of play will be faster than normal, and the weight of the pass has to be spot on if you are to pick your man. So 3 at the back in the application. steady spell of possession, very patient build-up. But for Maxwell Takende Sajonga, the veteran, he would want things to happen fast and an early goal. Mpoma with a clean-up job. Sangari to Majarira. Clemens Govu just coming second best in that clash with Mafurira. Now a very 4-1-4-1 formation when they're sitting deep. Cheguru Pirates, don't know if that might be the best approach to get an early goal. But Mpoma with the free kick now. Noted down by the captain, Ruben Machaya. One of the veterans in Cheguru Pirates camp. Lakama is fighting and bustling. Mafulirwa again. So it's a midweek encounter and no goals have been recorded just yet. But there has been plenty of hope, as we are seeing now, with Cheguru Pirates storming forward with the play. Now Tinashe Mpoma is the danger man. Failed to pick the run of Tinotenda Benza. Kamurai is still onside. A perfect pass might just do the trick. Took a bit of his time and the sting is just taken off. So Dexter Piri will spread it wide. And a bit of miscommunication there from Cheguru Pirates. And in the end, all that promising build-up, Mr. Teach, coming to absolutely nothing.
You know what? Some of these players, they make our job difficult as commentators who ain't coming right there, causing a bit of confusion for us in the commentary box. Wearing shorts with the number 12, which is his regular number, but his top is 11, and Domingo on the back. So we're like, that was interesting, but I think we've clarified that situation. Wayne Kamurai, there is no Domingo on the field of play.
The great Simba Domingo, absolutely loved when you're talking of Cheguru Pirates. He's seen it all with them, all through the lower levels to where we are today. And quite some weight on Kamurai's shoulders. So, that one is fluffed, and Tino Benza just being stopped by Tafadzwa Magadu, who was quickly off his line after Ruben Machaya had let the ball slip. But on the other end of the pitch, Peter Chota slotted into play today to cover for Mukiwa is doing quite a brilliant job in holding Tafadzwa Jika from causing any damage down that right channel. Kamurai is offside.
The idea I had been good, but maybe the timing of that run and the far side official there equal to the task. Kamurai they found to have been off aside wearing that number 11. It's going to take some getting used to throughout this game, and we're going to have to keep clarifying.
We have to keep clarifying, and wherever you're watching us from, whether it's the soccer-mad community of Cheguru Pirates and you're fervently praying and hoping that your team stays on the top flight, or any other part of the world, it is match day 32 of the Kasolaga Premier Soccer League. And the students up against Zinzareza area. The goal line, scoreline still goalless after 20 minutes of play. And there hasn't really been anything much to write home about in terms of goal mouth action. Plenty of possession for both teams. But of course, the pressure is mounting more on Cheguru Pirates as the minutes tick on. So
to give them a bit of a reality check, a draw will not be enough in terms of their bid for survival. I think it will probably just burst that bubble of encouragement that they've enjoyed over the last couple of matches. But Maxwell Takayendesa Jongwe in your picture there, just having a word with his players. He is a miracle man when it comes to getting teams out of this sticky situation, out of the murky waters of relegation. He did that so well with the Yada last season. And the question is, can he replicate it with the Tanzania? Well, let's see how it unfolds.
It will definitely be a tall order and much to ask for, but I mean, when Yada robbed him last season, Mr. TJ, it almost reads like a script for one of those super spies where he was called back after almost 12 years away from the top flight, and anytime you are in trouble, if you can find him, that's your man, Maxwell Takayendesa Jongwe. Dramatic survival on the last day, a 2-1 win over Dynamos at the National Sports Stadium. Then he decided to take a backseat again, but when Zaire found themselves under pressure and Gutu decided to call it quits. Of course, we'll miss his enchanting pitchside interviews. The man, Maxwell Takayendesa Jongwe, stepped up, and here they are today.
He's got a wonderful football brain, and once a football man, always a football man. Obviously, that 12-year sabbatical, not changing his tactical acumen, and I think his experience coming to the fore for Yada. And in this title, in this end-of-season run-in, could he also mastermind another great escape? Because Tinashe, that's what it will be, and maybe, just maybe, then I'll start calling him Mad Max.
It would be one of the most amazing stories recently, but Herentas now with Clemens Govu, the cross a little too deep, and Tino Benza gave the chase, gave the fight, but it was already out of play. So Herentas beginning to show some real intention now. I think after indulging Chekuru Pirates in the opening 20 minutes, they are now just cranking the gear up. And in that instance, we saw just what they can do. Clemens Govu, nicknamed Campiaso, obviously after the Italian great. Very versatile player up there, a bit higher up the pitch today.
Warning shot they fired towards Chekuru Pirates. It's not just about them launching themselves forward. They also have to make sure that they shut out a rental side that loves to be the anti-hero, if I can call it that, the party spoiler. It's a take that they wear with pride, and obviously they've got their own ambitions, and their team and a side that has built its own unique character. Govude going down, getting some treatment. I've never quite understood this phenomenon of water being an all a fix-it-all for some of these medical situations we see in our beautiful game. I know you've played it, albeit at amateur level. What is it about water, Tinashe?
Water is life, Mr. Teach. So whether it's a toothache, it's a headache, it's prayers you need, you will definitely find some water in there. And Clemens Govu, you see, after getting treatment, water therapy maybe,
H2O.
H2O to the world, he's back on his feet. And Innocent Benza today also in the starting lineup. He hasn't been heavily involved, but normally comes in with those flicks here and there, playing alongside his son, the oldest player in the top flight, in there on the bench, Celestino Paul Benza. Proper family affair, building something solid for the students as they lead the day this afternoon. I
don't know how much you follow the game of basketball, but there's been a lot of noise in the NBA about LeBron James and Bronny Jr., father-son playing together. We didn't make as much noise about Tino and his father Innocent, because maybe it's something that has been the norm over the last couple of seasons. But I think it's an absolutely fantastic story. And to have a 50-year-old member of parliament playing top 5 football, and for that team to be amongst the top teams in the country in terms of being in the top half of the table consistently, that speaks volumes to the investment and even the passion that we've seen from the Benzas. And I think in terms of their contribution to Zimbabwean football, maybe under-celebrated.
Definitely, I know you've unpacked the Rentals football strategy at some point, and I think some of the cheers you hear in the background, it's members of the Rentals Queens, their women's football side, two-time defending champions, and they are still in the running again this season. So it's quite an interesting project. But now Cheguru Pirates will carry the play forward. Blessing Piri stepping in at the right time. It's Kamurai now. Oh, he does so well. But then Piri is there again, a very combative player who loves a slugfest, if you wish. And some of the Cheguru Pirates fans looking on and wondering if they will get the goal that they so badly desire at this moment.
26 minutes played here at Rufaro Stadium, still goalless. It's a scenario that will not help Cheguru Pirates' cause at all. They need to make sure they do get a result here. 4 wins on the trot would be impressive. Oh, nice little touch there from IB9 to just sort of dink it then into those attacking channels. But, you know, he's a man who gives us glimpses, maybe if not consistency.
I love the way you put it. And now Cheguru Pirates working it into the box with Tinashe Mavudzi, who comes unstuck, and play is allowed to continue. Govu linking with the versatile Mpuma. Piri to Majarira, Brighton. Fort Lakama. Lakama coming under the heavy attentions there of Dexter Piri. He was the captain of the Rentals under 20 side last season, and more of the Benza family watching in from the stands. Tough hearts were there, looking on. And of course, Lakama, Mr. Teach, was very prominent in their rivalry last season in the northern region. Before, obviously, after Cheguru Pirates secured their ticket to the top flight, Lakama became one of the players promoted to the first team along with Webster Dombo. He assisted Dombo actually in the reverse fixture when Cheguru Pirates played against the Rentals. So it's a team that he loves hurting, but today he's been largely kept quiet. But he'll be itching to have a say on proceedings as the match pans out. So as we're teetering towards the half-hour mark, can a goal come in this first half? A deep throw from Puma, too close to the goalkeeper. Word has it that sometimes in his earlier days he even tried out the goalkeeper's position. Tinashe Mpuma, very versatile, can do it all on the pitch. But the yellow card is out for Tino Benza, it seems.
Very unnecessary there, just distracting Tafazo Magadu as he was just trying to release that ball. But maybe unbridled passion, let's call it that.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of a streak we've been seeing in him lately sometimes, where he gets some of these unnecessary bookings, if you like to say. So gets in a bit of fatherly advice from his teammates. With Innocent Benza taking some liberties with his captain for the day, of course, is Antino Benza today. But play will restart as the search for a goal continues. Reginald Ngazima winning a free kick in a very good area of the field. He was asking for more, but you can only get so much. Interesting, isn't it, Mr. Teach, that area of the pitch seems a little overgrown, where the turf is not maybe as compact as you would prefer. Maybe that accounts for the slower play that we've been seeing from the right flank of Cheguru Pirates when they are raiding their attacks from there. And the cross goes straight at the goalkeeper. Early a ball from Takuzwa Chikosi. And Tino Benza was praying on that one. Sangare seems to have pulled a muscle as he was chasing that ball down. Immediately goes down. But of course, play will continue. It is up to Cheguru Pirates to knock it down if they want. Ngazima giving that one away. Goalkeeper collects. And the medical team will be called out. Just look at the length of that grass there.
Looks like a forest.
But Mukiwa seems to be Sangare rather seems to be in some serious discomfort after pulling his muscle, chasing down that ball, which had been knocked by Ruben Machaya, who has seemed a bit unsteady whenever he's up against N0VEMBER this afternoon. So some of the Orientals Queens are watching on from the stands. It's quite unusual for a Czech Group Pirates game not to see their passionate fans ringing it out. Maybe because it's a midday fixture and a bit away, but the Queens are bringing the flair.
Supporting their colleagues, and IB9 there just having a word with some of his players. Obviously, that fatherly role extends beyond his own son at N0VEMBER.
But Sangare is up on his feet, assisted by members of the medical staff, while Maxwell Takaineza Jungwe continues his little caucus with some of his players. So Tafadzwa Magadu having a bit of chit chat with the center ref Ronald, and play resumes. If you're someone who obsesses over formations, playing patterns, recognized patterns of play and styles, I think this afternoon would be quite confusing for you, because at some point it's all jumbled out there, Mr. Teach, when you get a bird's eye view. But then it seems the injury was worse than expected. So Eric King Dombo, who was also a thorn in the flesh for Czech Group Pirates last season in Division 1 and struck against them earlier on this season, is introduced earlier than they would have preferred, if you ask me.
An enforced substitution there for the students, but an equally capable player coming on board, and he will not be letting Czech Group Pirates off easy. It seems like over the last couple of minutes, Tinashe, we've seen Orientals exert their control and dominance over the game, forcing Czech Group Pirates back into their own half more. But a brilliant cross-field pass there from Wayne Makure. Can they create something?
Ngazima linking up with Mavudzi. But then they let the initiative go. So Kentino Benza turn on the speed and style from that wing, just slows down play and allows support from Mupuma, who's nicked and stopped dead in his tracks. Ngazima was one of the flag bearers for Czech Group Pirates in their quest this season in the top flight. Right from match day 1 to where we are now, he's been absolutely outstanding. But this afternoon, it's really difficult to pick a single player who has lit up the stage, as a cautious approach from both teams sees the scoreline remain goalless after 33 minutes of play. And now it is Peter Chota, nicknamed Dollar, who finds Clemens Govu on the near side. And Majarira now high up the pitch. Incisive passing. Nice touch and control from Tanaka Dlakama. But then very casual from Govu, who loses out. And rather miscued clearance from Ruben Machaya. He's not his usual self today, Mr. Teach. And there you can see behind the Benjamin some of the executive from Scotland, Squad Sakupanyas. The Sakupanyas linking with the Benzas today.
And I think that I've enjoyed seeing this, especially along some of these newer owners of the football clubs. They've been supporting each other several times. I've seen Scott Sakupanya at some of the Simba Bora games and vice versa, Simbandoro at Scotland games, and it's a camaraderie and a rivalry that we enjoy seeing in our football, and yeah, it's good for the game.
It's good for the game, and of course, Scotland will be in action at this very same venue on Friday against Black Mambas in a match that could confirm them as champions of the Northern Region Soccer League, and they could as well be playing in this very same pitch in the top flight if things go their way on Friday. Earlier on this morning, of course, they announced grand plans of renovating Mavuko 1 grounds. So it will be interesting times for the local football fraternity, Mr. Teach. So away at the Green Fuel Arena. Green Fuel have taken the lead through Clive Rupia, who has struck in a header after 37 minutes to put Green Fuel one up against Wange, who are also caught up in the relegation matrix. Green Fuel are not yet quite safe themselves, so if that news filters to the Cheguru Pirates bench, it might possibly fire them up to try and kick up the pace this afternoon, because really they haven't been convincing. And in our picture there, Kundai Sangare. Very unfortunate to see him come off. His season has been hampered by injury. He was one of the big prospects that Celestino Paul Benza was expecting to be lighting up for the students. But he's got time and age on his side. Benza links up with Benza. Lakama sends a deep cross to find Webster Dombo. That telepathy working again. Shouts of a handball, but play is allowed to continue. And Dombo somehow forces in a cross, which results in a throw-in, and a rental supporter looking just as dumbfounded.
That face says it all.
It says it all. It was outside the box, but of course the most passionate fans will insist it was a penalty. Even if it happens at the center line, Mr. Tish, they will tell you we want our penalty. But the referee...
Not having it.
Not having it, I guess. Thank you for reading my mind there. Lakama fizzes one wide. First real chance we have seen from the students.
A brilliant run across the box there from Lakama, creating the space for himself, and it was a low and hard shot, but maybe the accuracy in terms of his direction not quite getting it, and in the end Magadu didn't even have to move, and he'll be relieved. But once again, Rentals keep firing warning shots to Cheguru Pirates, and surely enough one of those shots might land.
Definitely. Lakama, of course, unfortunately taking that shot from his weaker right foot. He favors the left. Very nimble-footed and one of their finer prospects, despite limited appearances this season. Only 14 appearances with 7 starts, but he's got 3 assists to his name. And there, he'd be disappointed not to chalk something on target there. But now the volume is picking up because some of the fans for Zinzare Zaire have shown up at the city end. And Maxwell Taganesa Jongwe barks instructions whilst the choir in the terraces, Mr. Teach, may be making the trip from Cheguru Pirates a little late today. But here they are, hoping to lift and carry their team forward. And if you look closely, hopefully no one gave it an excuse at work today.
Better late than never. That's the old adage. And could they inspire? We're just getting into that final critical phase of the first half. These are moments where games are won or lost. Those, those final 5 minutes before the break, or even the first 5 minutes after the break, very critical in terms of concentration for teams. And maybe those Pirates fans could be just what the doctor ordered for Zinza Rezaire. I love that nickname.
Zinza Rezaire searching for the bounty, but it is a Rentals with Tino Benza still in possession to find Dombo, who leaves one for innocent Benza. Dinks it lovely. Dombo fails to find a way past. A round of applause all around as the game picks up a tempo. We've been waiting for this one. Dombo with another good and inviting cross. Shota finds Piri from distance. Cheguru Pirates struggling to play it out of their box, but they find a way with Bitima now, who can set Jika off on a fine run. Manuire still got the legs, and he maintains possession. He's got a free man down this near side, but
the connection not quite there. The idea good, but the player down there for Cheguru Pirates, as we just hit 5 minutes to go until the halftime break. Not much in terms of goal mouth action in this first 45 for Cheguru Pirates. They will need to crank it up. No Soldier Boy there.
So, Mr. Teach, of course, a huge hip-hop fan, and you're feeling hippie and hoppy today. The Kasolaga Premier Soccer League is the place to be. Couple of matches taking place across the country. Simbabora in the lead against N0VEMBER at N0VEMBER Stadium. Walter Msona with the goal. Here from Rufaro Stadium, it is goalless. Herentals up against Cheguru Pirates. Green Fuel leading by a goal to nil against Wange at the Green Fuel Arena in Chisumbanje. Clive Rupia with a goal. And Chicken Inn versus Ngezi, still goalless. But the Queens do not seem to mind today as they continue with their song and dance, hoping that the students can master something.
And just an update from Mandawa Stadium, Oscar Bebe, they're getting a goal for FC Platinum, who obviously be looking to try and pounce on any potential slip-ups from Simbabora. They lead Bulawayo Chiefs by a goal to nil. But as things stand, Simba leading by a goal to nil. Walter Msona getting his 10th goal of the season, but most importantly, the goal that could bring the Premier Soccer League title to Mashonaland Central, to the wonderful community of Shamba. What a story it has been. But yeah, man, the focus right now here at Rufaro, Herentals and the Cheguru Pirates still goalless.
And now as we peer out into the last 3 minutes of the first half, no team of the two on play has yet shown any real intention to grab the game by its horns. N0VEMBER Rafi finds his younger slipping. Oh, it's a nice passage of play now as Cheguru Pirates stomped the box, but some really clever defending there from Joseph Chitavira, who just let the ball run out of play and frustrate the best intentions of Tafazwa Jika. Chitavira will look to restart and carry the students home. And now Lakama working his way from the left. He sends a delightful cross in, and it's tipped over. Wide for a throw in for Herentals. Tinashe Mpuma was the one on the far side, and I know the students would have preferred a taller character maybe to get to the end of that inviting cross. But it's a bailout as Maxwell Manuira goes down to the ground and earns his team a free kick. He was absolutely outstanding against Chicken Inn on Sunday at the Baobab Stadium when his team recorded their third win in a row with a 2-1 victory. On a dramatic afternoon, a day they gave themselves a fighting chance. Magadu sends it on to find N0VEMBER with a deft touch, but the hard-working Blessing Piri is there again. And Innocent Benza touches it nicely to Lakama. Exchange of passes, delightful passing, but Mupuma concedes possession. So now Dexter Piri sends it centrally. Plenty of options in the wide areas. And Tinashe Mpuma touching it out for a throw-in. He's a no-nonsense player, if you ask me. Hard tackling, no prisoners, and very unapologetic about his approach to the game. He's also quite potent from set-piece situations. Dexter Piri with the delivery to find Tinashe Mavudzi. A switch of play fails to materialize as Tanaka Lakama slots in with defensive duties today to keep the scoreline goalless. So it will be 3 minutes of additional time of the first half, and it's a miscued one. Remember, these two teams were in action over the weekend, so maybe that quick turnover has sort of drained their recovery period. But that is no excuse when you're playing at the highest level of Zimbabwean football. The PSL games will obviously come in thick and fast. And Govu will take the throw-in for the students. So news coming in from other matches that are taking place across the country, from Babafield Stadium, where Chicken Inn is up against Ngeze Platinum Stars. El Shama Farasi has just scored in the 44th minute. So Chicken Inn leading by a goal to nil. Halftime at N0VEMBER Stadium, Simba Bora leading Arsenal Movers by a goal to nil. Walthamson on target. And right on the stroke of halftime, Talent Chamboko equalizes for Ngeze Platinum Stars. So it's 1-1 at Babafield Stadium, where Chicken Inn is taking on Ngeze Platinum Stars. But here at Rufaro Stadium, it's still goalless. Herentals up against Cheguru Pirates. And as it stands, it is a result that will not do any favors to Cheguru Pirates. But they have a chance with another throw of the dice. That's a very deep cross from Mavudzi. And it just runs out of play. Ditima given a chance to make amends. And the cross is good. But no one could connect. And the Cheguru Pirates bench can only agonize. Godfrey Tamirepi just wondering what could have been done differently on that one. So we are in the last minute of additional time of first half. Innocent Benza's touch finds the Cheguru Pirates man. Zakama putting in a defensive shift. Benza linking up with Dombo to Tino Benza. Piri. Benza belying his age with a very good cross that had no takers. And he welcomes the applause from his adoring Herentals family. But now Dexter Piri to Rafael Manuire. But the offside flag is up. And that will surely be the last phase of play of the first half. And you can see by the shaking of heads, this is as indifferent as it comes in a game where so much was riding on the result. Cheguru Pirates have managed to stay in it, but they have not exactly imposed themselves on this game. And we go to the halftime break locked on goalless. 0-0 for both teams. Tanaka Dlakama had a shot that was sent wide for the students. And of course, Tinashe Mavudzi has been involved in some moments, but his final ball has just lacked conviction and failed that cutting edge that could give his team the advantage. Ruben Machaya was jittery in defense, but nothing harmful has happened so far. And they remain in the hunt. So a bit of a caucus meeting there with the students before they head to the dressing rooms for halftime instructions. And here at Rufaro Stadium, it is match day 32. Herentals versus Cheguru Pirates as 0-0 at halftime. And we'll be going down to join our team for halftime reactions with Mr. Teacher, Veronica, and David Sengu before second half action resumes.
Halftime here at Rufaro Stadium and match day 32 action on the Castle Lager Premier Soccer League. It is still goalless between Herentals and Cheguru Pirates. I'm Mr. Tich, joined for this halftime analysis here on ZTM Prime by Veronica Guaze as well as David Sengu. Veronica, obviously goalless at the halftime break for Cheguru Pirates. That will not be enough in terms of their own ambitions. Especially they're trying to plot the great escape. They've done well in their last 3 games, 100% record. But so far, haven't been able to find the goal that they need to get the lead. Your assessment of that first 45?
Yeah, I think there hasn't been really much of action to talk about because visibly they are in a precarious position and they actually need the points, they need the goals, but they haven't been able to give us something meaningful in the first half. I think there's a time that they lost, they wasted a very good chance there at the start of the game, and I'm just hoping that maybe when they go for half time, they are going to sit down and have a serious talk about what really happened there, because I thought that was supposed to give them something to keep them going. You know what happens with the rentals usually in the second half, and it's going to be very difficult for them to come back and try to get something.
David, obviously the focus, especially in the context of this game, will be primarily on Chegutu Pirates and their audacious bid to survive relegation. What have you made of how the Reza have performed in the first 45?
Yeah, they're trying. They're trying to, to play the ball around, but it's not even threatening Rentals. If you look at it, they're trying to put long through passes to Rafa Manuire, but there's no longer legs for him to chase those long balls. If they can play him, most of the times to fit, I think they'll get much better chances. But as long as they try to put the ball behind the Rentals defense, there's no runs for Chegutu Pirates, and Kudvano test a goalkeeper, and 45 minutes they don't have even a single shot on target. That's a team that wants to survive, remember, and it's only maybe one good cross that they got from the left, but they couldn't utilize that chance. But still, Rentals had the better chances. If you look at it, they also haven't got a shot on target, but they are, since Webster Dombo got in, they are now playing more going forward, and Tino as well, moving to the left, moving to the right. I think he started playing very well, rather than being a centre forward, because he's not a centre forward, he's a winger. He can do much better playing as a winger. But still, this game haven't lived up to what I thought maybe would be, a very good game. But I'm still looking at the second half, how Chegutu Pirates are going, to be performing. Because for Rentals, a win today, it will take them to third place. Remember, that's a very good position for Rentals to be. Remember, and Chegutu Pirates, they will say goodbye, to the Premier League as long as they lose today's game. But look, they need to do much better. What they are doing in here doesn't show Kuti they want to survive relegation. At the end of the day, they really need 3 points.
All right, so that is what is happening here at Rufaro Stadium. But match day 32 in the Castle Lager Premier Soccer League, different fixtures happening across the country. I know you guys want to find out. Well, we'll update you on what's happening at N0VEMBER Stadium. Walter Msona, who's often been the talisman for a Simba Bora side that stands on the verge of history, getting a goal in the first half to help Simba Bora put one hand firmly on the Castle Lager Premier Soccer League title. So at the halftime break at N0VEMBER, it is
Two brilliant minds, two great personalities. What happens when these collide to delve into Africa's busiest economies? Two explosive business TV shows and amazing financial insights.
And Beat the Market brings you up close and personal with latest market trends, and big hitters in the world of finance.
We don't just bring you financial news, we take you into the heart of decision makers.
In Zimbabwe, on the continent, and beyond.
We bring you the information that not only affects your life but also impacts on the economy.
Join former banker Andy Hodges and top financial analyst Eben Mabunda on The Mint and beat the market.
Join us on ZTN Prime, channel 294, 2 p.m. Central African Time, every weekday, Monday to Friday.
It may just be a profitable afternoon.
A lot of debate actually borders around the outcome of Chegutu Pirates game today. Because sitting at 29 points, if they collect maximum points, it means they are on 31 points. That means a lot of pressure for the likes of Green Fuel and Bulawayo Chiefs. So I think when we look at today's fixtures, it's actually Bulawayo Chiefs and Green Fuel that need to collect maximum points for them to at least move away from the danger zone. Because where they are sitting right now, if these bottom teams manage to bag maximum points, then it means it's them sinking and these ones going upwards.
Having laid out that context, what does Maxwell Takaendesa Jongwe have to do now going into the second half to ensure that it doesn't peter out into like a goalless draw or even a defeat for his side? They can secure that win, and whilst it doesn't guarantee their safety, it keeps them alive.
I think from my own understanding of football, Mr. Teach, the best way to defend and the best way to get scores is to attack and attack. So probably that's what they just need to do.
All right, second half action coming up here at Rufaro Stadium. We are live here on ZTM Prime. It is Herentals taking on Chegutu Pirates. Chegutu Pirates under Maxwell Takaendesa Jongwe plotting the greatest step. 3 wins on the trot coming into this game, but it's goalless at half-time. A second half action coming up shortly.
back to the second half of this match day 32 clash between Herentals and Cheguru Pirates, coming to you live from Rufaro Stadium. Heading into the break, it was goalless between these two teams, and now as we prepare for resumption of play in the last 45, the question that is still hanging in the air, especially for the visiting team, is that can they find a breakthrough and give themselves a fighting chance in their audacious bid for survival? But for Herentals, the students, has been serenity all around. They are not under any form of pressure. Godfrey Mukambi Maraba, one of the leading lights in the first half of the season for the students, and there his erstwhile colleague, Peter Chota, who has been sturdy all afternoon and will be hoping to keep things tight at the back as we head into the last 45. Innocent Benza has had his moments with a few flicks and tricks. Rafael Manuire kicks off the second half as Cheguru Pirates now attack from the city end, attacking the Mbari end that is left to right of your screen. And there is a hint of rain in the air, and that should surely count for something in terms of the players' attitude out there on the field of play.
Well, in terms of omens, rain is usually a good omen. I don't know which way it will be favoring, whether it's a rental.
Even when it rains on your parade.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not sure it'll be. It could, because it could be a good omen for Herentals. It could be raining on Cheguru Pirates' top flight status.
Yeah, so from up here in the commentary box, no such pressure for us, but for the two teams out there on the pitch, the pressure to deliver, the pressure to impress with every outing remains unabated, and we start the second half with end-to-end stuff. So Herentals in the ascendancy with a Blessing Piri, who has hardly put a foot wrong this afternoon, playing it back to Majarira, who finds Kudakwashe Joseph Chitavira, whose crossfield pass could only find Tinashe Mavudzi, who will be flagged for offside. So a let-off for the Herentals defender there, after some wayward passing, under no pressure, absolutely decided to go for a crossfield pass and almost got punished for that one. Takudzwa Chikosi to restart. When the season started, he was grappling with N0VEMBER Antonio for the first choice goalkeeper for Herentals. Then Nedrick Madea was signed at mid-season to join Herentals, but since then Chikosi has cemented his place as Celestino Paul Benza's preferred number one. N0VEMBER Antonio training with the developmental side at the moment after suffering injury midway stage of the first half of the season. Tinashe Mpuma. Dlakama back in midfield. He does well, but some solid defending there from Tafadzwa Jika, who has to be very alert. Of course, these players know each other very well. Chota to Mpuma. Dombo can swing it from distance. Mpuma finds the goal! Their old nemesis coming back to haunt Cheguru Pirates once more in an afternoon that puts their slim survival hopes into further jeopardy. Only 2 minutes played in the second half, and Tinashe Mpuma gets the goal for the students. It's celebration time, class in session.
Absolutely brilliant technique, timed his run to perfection, and his connection with the ball. There was no chance for Tafadzwa Magadu. And Herentals, a team that's very accustomed to turning on the power and the class in the second half, beginning strongly in that first critical phase. I did speak about this towards the tail end of the second half. And for Maxwell Takaedis at Jongwe and his boys, it is the worst possible start. You know, you can probably start throwing away what you were saying in the halftime team talk. And as far as their dalliance with the Castle Premier Soccer League, should it stay this way, we might as well start writing the epitaph for Cheguru Pirates. Zinzare Zaire could be on their way back to Division 1 football, but football is a crazy old game, and let's see how it plays out in the remainder of the 50-odd minutes that we have here at Rufaro.
Yeah, so it's been a crazy start to the second half for the Cheguru Pirates. Pirates lost at sea, if you please, while the students decide to teach some of their more experienced opponents a lesson today in taking your chances. Tinashe Mpuma with a goal after a neat build-up from Herentals on this near side. And I think the interesting thing there, Mr. Teach, was that it's the three players who were in the developmental side last season who combined for that breakthrough. So that faith paying off for Celestino Benza is Dlakama, Dombo and Mpuma. I put the students in the driving seat while Benza pulls another rabbit from his party tricks this afternoon. But yeah, that one from Tino Benza will not count for much. As we head into the 50th minute, some of the players there, Milton Chimedza, one of the more technically gifted midfielders in the student setup, is looking on, and it will be interesting if he gets a chance for a runabout there. I think for teams that have already secured their survival and are out of the running for the title, they usually use some of these remaining games to just sort of test the depth of their squad and give everyone some minutes out there.
And what Herentals are doing right now is putting Cheguru Pirates to the sword, not relenting. That goal there from Mupuma there, just putting a bit of a spring in the students' steps, and it could just put the nail in the coffin for Zinzare Zaire. A set piece, corner kick coming through for Herentals.
So the weather has turned a bit sullen today, some strong winds coming in, a hint of rain like we mentioned. But Herentals have not stopped as they keep searching. A bit rush in the end from Clemens Govu there. He had done so well to work his way to the byline, but just lost his head a bit of adrenaline maybe just pumping in too much. And for Cheguru Pirates, and some of the neutrals there, like Richard Sunday, staunch Caps United fan, you just wonder what is going on in his mind. Of course, Caps United will be in action here tomorrow at Rufaro Stadium. Now Cheguru Pirates have to dig themselves out of a very sticky situation because they have to find 2 goals without reply if they are to entertain any hopes. Majarira loses his footing but recovers spectacularly. Tino Benza is sitting on a yellow. He has to watch his footing there, a bit petulant. To show off Tinashe Mwafuliria there after losing the ball. But it looks like we're about to have a double substitution. For Cheguru Pirates, as Aaron Zingai enters the field of play to replace Reginald Ngazima, who has been subdued this afternoon. And Richard Kumi will be coming in to replace the ageless Rafael Manuire, whose number is up on the board, but somehow Manuire doesn't seem to be in agreement and is apparently refusing to come off there, framed between Kumi and the 4th official. But yeah, finally the veteran decides to do the sensible thing. And though you can see he's unhappy there, but I mean, it's the passion you love to see, but not so sure about what that says in terms of discipline and the example he'd want to set to the young players.
I think you can understand his passion in wanting to play a part in Cheguru Pirates' survival, or their bid to survive. And obviously, having seen his team trail, he probably feels he can contribute something. But Maxo Takaenesa Jongwe, who is the gaffer and the man with the final decision, thinking otherwise.
Yeah, he's had some really good moments this season, but you can see that Herentals had his number today, and they were just not allowing him to have any say whatsoever in this game. Sakama losing out. Innocent Benza, who usually exits the field of play after 45 minutes, is still running strong. still in with a chance to contribute to his team's cause as they seek a third win on the trot. It's back-to-back wins for Rentals in their last few matches. The last 5 have not been so convincing, as they have only managed 2 wins, 1 draw and 2 defeats. Their biggest defeat of the season was a 3-1 loss to FC Platinum at Mandava Stadium earlier on in the season, when Greg Kufandada, their mid-season acquisition, scored his first goal of the season from a sensational assist deep from goal from Nedrick Maria. But Takuzo Wachikosi is in goal today, and he's barking out instructions as Chekuru Pirates prepare to take a free kick and offer a response to that Tinashe Mpuma goal in the 47th minute. Swung in from the left, high in the end, from the man wearing number 11 with the Simbarache Domingo on the back. But yes, please take note, that is Wayne Kamurai of Chekuru Pirates. Domingo hasn't made the matchday squad today, and maybe a bit of confusion going some way in highlighting some of the challenges that have been ever present in the camp of Zinzare Zaire throughout the 2024 season. But now they are staring down the barrel as if the scoreline remains this way. Yeah, Peter Chota getting a bit of afters in the face there up against Tinashe Mavudzi.
So if things stay like this here for Chekuru Pirates, it could be the end of the road for them, because the update that we're getting from Sakuva Stadium is that Bikita Minerals, who are right at the top of that relegation zone, have taken a 2-0 lead. So they've moved up to 35 points if that result stays the same. Bulawayo Chiefs still trail FC Platinum by a goal to 0. They're on 35 points. And for Zinza, the biggest issue is their goal difference, minus 16. So you look at that and you compare, for example, with the Bulawayo Chiefs, we've got minus 6, as well as Bikita Minerals there. They'll need at least a 10-goal swing in the final 2 matches to be able to survive. So it's win or bust here for Chekuru Pirates.
Like I always say, Mr. Chief, stranger things have happened in football, but this afternoon it doesn't look that way, because heading into this match, they probably had the 3rd poorest defense in the league after N0VEMBER and Wange, and they've just made it worse this afternoon. So to the statisticians, the hopefuls, the most optimistic ones out there, it's up to you what you decide to do with this information. It's really interesting to see how Rentals have transformed and just clicked into second gear without really breaking a sweat in this second half. And now with a goal cushion, they can maybe work things out. John Joao there, out of commission today, one of the leading scorers for Rentals this season, only recently got out of a plaster. And yeah, not an expert at body language, but you can see he wishes he was out there. So Tino Benza snaps out Maxwell Manuire, while John Joao, seated deep in enemy territory, surrounded by Chekuru Pirates fans, as Maxwell Takendesa Jongwe rages at his players who do not seem to understand the severity of the situation. Oh well, he seems his displeasure was directed at the 4th official. He feels that maybe Tino Benza was a bit naughty there in knocking Maxwell Manuire. Of course, Benza is sitting on a yellow picked in the first half.
Yeah, the score here at Faro Stadium, Rentals leading by a goal to 0 against Chekuru Pirates. Just close to 59 minutes are played here. It's not looking too rosy for Zinzare Zaire, who could be kissing goodbye to the top flight after just 1 season. But they still have 30 minutes to try and redeem themselves, turn things around. Like we've been saying throughout the afternoon, if there's a man you want in this kind of situation in that dugout, it is Maxwell Takayedesa Jongo, but he has his work cut out.
So we're approaching the 1 hour mark, and it is the students that are still in control of proceedings here at Rufaro Stadium. Tagandesa Jongwe, his footballing brain ever ticking as the students send in a corner kick that comes to nothing. And the lack of agency must be infuriating to their technical bench, who would want them to pick up the pace a bit and give themselves a chance in this encounter. But the Rentals have seemed hungrier and stronger, first to every ball. So maybe the decision for Cheguru Pirates to try and play the second goal, not sure if that is down to instruction or maybe fatigue. They've had a fair bit of traveling on Sunday from Cheguru to Mondoro, then back in the capital today after playing on Sunday. So N0VEMBER's time is up. His number is up on the board, and he will be replaced by former Dynamos player Ali Maliselo. He's had a decent outing this afternoon, the Honorable. So a short shot in anger from Ali Maliselo. What an introduction that would have been if that had rippled the nets. So play, and we'll continue once more. And Magadu playing that one straight into the hands of Rentals. Chota. Maliselo, very busy early on in his introduction. Eric Kingdombo was up and running, but he's stopped by the offside flag after straying a bit in that build-up for Rentals, who are looking to double the advantage. And now Cheguru Pirates just looking a bit out of sorts with the attack, favoring the long ball, which is just playing into the hands of Rentals. Is Chitavira tassels with Mavlero. And the winds are getting stronger now as the weather turns are sullen. Tavazwa Jika to set up Kumi, who leases out to Ali Maliselo, who's off on a rampage with Clemens Govu. Maliselo sets it up nicely. Rentals working it so beautifully, but N0VEMBER not good enough in that situation against Maxwell Manuire. Sort of a corner kick for the students, and Cheguru Pirates are looking like a team that is just there for the peaking. They don't step it up. Tavazwa Magadu was breached just 2 minutes after the restart with a nicely timed, perfectly executed goal from Tinashe Mpuma, giving Rentals the 1-goal lead. The corner kick was sent in. It's brought in nicely. A very nice touch from Kumi. Decides to spread it wide spectacularly with Eric Kingdombo responding with his own footwork. Chitavira was very strong there and maybe even caught a bit off Kumi. But now, Cheguru Pirates, a loose touch from Tinashe Mavudzi. Maliselo.
it's going to see a bit of urgency coming through from Zinzare Zaire, but they need to match that with effectiveness and efficiency in terms of their output. And you can see the gusty winds that are around Rufaro Stadium, those trees there on the receiving end. But we haven't really seen it in terms of the field of play affecting the ball movement as much as it is affecting those trees just outside Rufaro so far. But I think before the night is over, we might be experiencing some much-needed rains here in Harare.
Yeah, definitely. So Luis Milanzi is called up to replace Tafaz Wajika as Zaire seek a way back into this encounter. They had all season to try and secure their top flight status. A good run in their last 3 games gave them something to cling on to, but all that has been undone by the irrepressible Tinashe Mpuma in the second half. But they still have quite some time to claw their way back into this match. A race against time for the Sea Rovers. They're looking to hurry everything now, but like Mr. Teach said, they have to be very accurate in their application, otherwise you just be overexerting your energy to nothingness. Lakama very smart there to draw out the foul from Manuire. It's interesting to see a continuation of that rivalry once more. But after the final whistle, trust me, you will see those two chaps going over the game in the car park and exchanging some nods here and there about what could have been.
But right now we focus on what is, and that is the Rentals leading by a goal to nil against Chegutu Pirates. A result that, if it stays this way, will condemn Chegutu Pirates probably and be the end of their one-season stay in the top flight. But they still got destiny somewhat in their own hands. 24 odd minutes to try and change things around. But the Rentals enjoying themselves out here, playing positively, playing exciting football, playing intricate football, and maybe not just quite getting their radar correct. But, you know, they are a team that are bothered by the context of everything that exists outside the Rentals institution. They focus on what they do. They offer no favors. They take no slaves. But you know what? It's an institution that we've grown to appreciate, and that has become a staple in our domestic top flight.
Focusing on themselves. And the Queens carry on with their celebrations, not really bothered much by what's happening on the field of play. Some students as well, some of them in developmental sides scattered across the country for the students out to witness the senior team do their stuff here on the field of play. So very interestingly, Mr. Teach, when you're looking at the context of teams that got promoted last season, N0VEMBER were the first to bite the dust. Chegutu Pirates still hot favorites to follow them out. You've got Bigita Minerals in the matrix as well. Tel One seem to be the only ones that have a great chance of seeing this one out. But of course, the last 2 matches of the season will have a lot of say in what happens this season. Chegutu Pirates, of course, their last loss came at the hands of Tel One, a 1-0 defeat before they went on that fine run where 3 matches in a row. But today they are steering an unfavorable result in the face. Dombo trying to tee up Tino Benza. The goal scorer for the day, Tinashe Mpuma, is looking to restart the play. That is quite a poor one from Peter Chota, who has hardly put a foot wrong all afternoon. And immediately apologizes to his teammates, Eddie King Dombo, for whom the pass was intended. So sitting on 29 points as Chegutu Pirates, 16 losses That has been catastrophic for them this season.
They basically lost half their matches at this point of the season, and when you look at that, not a really good statistic. Maybe could that be? Could that be the? I don't know what to say, man. Like, let me keep my words to myself.
It's not often that you find Mr. Teacher at a loss for words, but a fan whom we suspect to belong to Czech Pirates just looking to sweep out the bad memories.
Or the bad spirits.
On the bad spirits, really.
Or sweep Czech to an improbable comeback based on the patterns of play we've seen in the last couple of minutes.
They should give us something to talk about so we can throw in a clean sweep somewhere in there. But Maxwell Taganeza Jonga blinks again, is about to make another double substitution. But first...
But that's one thing that I'll definitely miss should they get relegated. I think the flavor and variety and the colorfulness that we've seen from the Czech Pirates fans is something that will definitely be missed if they do get relegated. I think they've had a lot of challenges not being able to play their games in Czech, obviously financial challenges that bedevil the club, but you know what, football can be a cruel mistress, and you got to do everything right, and it's not just about your passion but everything else that surrounds the game.
Yeah, definitely. Lakama has been on the receiving end of some crunching tackles all afternoon. Of course, like we mentioned earlier, he's a player that is known very well to Czech Pirates. So the yellow card is out for Ruben Machaya, who goes into the book for that challenge on Lakama. And of course, Mr. Teacher just, picking on those Czech Pirates fans as a substitute, comes on for Wayne Kamurai, wearing the number 11 shirt of Simbarashe Domingo, to be replaced by Panashe Mushonga, a striker coming in to try and offer something going forward for Czech Pirates. Tinotenda Chiwunye, a lot was expected of him all season. I don't know, once the progress report comes in, not sure how that will read, but I think it would be safe to say it's been largely underwhelming for a talent that promises so much, but somehow never quite seems to have things click in gear. So it will be a free kick for a rentals from quite some way out. Luke Ruguchu has scored twice from set-piece situations for the students this season, but he's not on the field of play today. So you will favor Tinashe Mpuma, and knowing the way his mind works, he might even attempt a crack at goal from this distance. There you go. Tavazwa Magadu, easy catch in the end. And speaking of the Zaire fans, Mr. Teach, of course, they do bring in that flair and color, and sometimes the passion has boiled over at some moments into questionable decisions. Of the 35 goals that they've conceded this season, 3 of those has, of course, come from the dressing room, from the boardroom rather, after the abandonment of their match against Dynamos earlier on in the season, in what was one of the unfortunate incidents of the season, because they actually had a foothold in that game, but in the end the scoreline being awarded a 3-0 victory to Dynamo. So when you do your post-mortem at the end of the season, these are some of the things where you'll be questioning really what could have been. And
that color, they just in full display. But the thing, we've seen them display that passion so vibrantly in the Division 1. So even if they go down, I'm sure the fans have been loyal to the team. They will continue doing that. But lots of lessons. And Mofela there, the chief Captain United fan, I think, Mr. Know-It-All, I think that's what it's called, and the backup squad, maybe exchanging notes with that very colorful Czech Pirates fan, who in this weather is not wearing a shirt. I mean,
a walking canvas or graffiti if you're on the other side.
Don't let the body paint fool you. He's probably feeling the effects of the windy conditions here at Rufaro Stadium.
So can we call him an all-weather fan?
Well, you coined it perfectly, Teresa, but I think even an all-weather fan would want to see their team pull up and get a possibly good result. But Chegudu with a lot of work to do. They've got an uphill to climb.
Yeah, so Chegudu Pirates still chasing it. Spotted somewhere around Rufaro Stadium today was Day Gutu, of course, who was at the helm when Chegudu Pirates made their way into the top flight before making way for Maxwell Takanesa Jongwe and the assistant coach Godfrey Tamirepi, who has been credited with some of the tactical plays that we've seen from Zaire, is still within the structures. So once Edzin's a fan, you can't really go back, and they are out here cheering their team in the face of adversity. And the new man, Milanzi, keeps it in play. Takuzwa Chikosi will collect. Spend some time so Tanaka Dhlakama could have some attention directed towards him. He seems to have run himself ragged this afternoon. He's been on the receiving end as well of some really, really strong challenges. And yeah, it's unfortunate to see him stretchered off. A very exciting young player who's got a truly, truly ferocious left foot in him. So on his 15th appearance of the season, he is stretchered off. And what was his last contribution to the cause? He has chipped in mostly with defensive work this afternoon, not enough of the creative playmaking abilities that we have seen and come to expect from him. So Blessed Kagudu will be replacing Tanaka Dhlakama, defense wing back rather, if you please.
All right, as we head into the last 15 minutes here at Rufaro Stadium, where it is Herentals 1, Chegudu Pirates now. An update from the different centers. Greenfield still leading 1 by a goal to 0. That's at the Greenfield Arena in Chisumbanje. Bigger Minerals carrying a 2-0 lead over Highlanders at Sakuva and Mutare. It is goalless in the match between ZPC Kariba and Dynamos at Nyamunga. FC Platinum, they lead Bulawayo Chiefs by a goal to 0. But probably the most significant scoreline for this afternoon, Simba Bora still leading by a goal to 0 away to our Movers at N0VEMBER, and then Chicken Inn and Gezi Platinum Stars, the shares spoiled so far, a goal each. So as things stand, Simba Bora could be crowned or will be crowned champions of the 2024 season. Here with Chegudu Pirates trailing, it'll be all but over. It'll just be a case of mathematics that we'll have to sort of navigate around, but it surely will be the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, definitely interesting results filtering in. A lot of mixed feelings and reactions obviously will be heard out there. But whilst we're speaking, Clemens Kovu has made way for Blessing Majarira, who has come in to beef up the attack for Herentals, but they have to defend now. And Peter Chota doesn't put a foot wrong. Majarira, first taste of action to find Dombo, who loses out again. Both teams loose in possession in the middle of the park. Ali Maliselo. Majarira links up nicely. He looks for options. And the play is carried on. Maliselo. Anticlimactic in the end. After a really, really clean passage of play from Herentals with the Blessing Kagudu, an early introduction, of course signed by the students in the mid-season transfer window. And now it's really a case of just seeing the game out without any drama for Herentals, the home team, with 12 minutes of regulation time to play. The weather seems to have stabilized a bit, and so has the home team's shape out on the field of play.
That's been good game management from the students ever since they took that lead. And it'll be an uphill task now for Chegudu Pirates to try and conjure up some magic. But we've seen team do more with less time than the 12 minutes that are left on the clock. pensive look there from that Chegutu Pirates fan. It would have been a dream following his team in their maiden top flight season, but the reality and the pressures and the complexities of our top flight league, maybe a learning curve for Zaire. Might be an opportunity for them to go back to the drawing board and maybe try and plot another chase, another run at the domestic top flight.
Yeah, definitely. They do say that lessons learnt in blood are not easily forgotten. And should they lose this one, obviously they've been bleeding and fighting through pain to just make things work, from off the field problems to a gruesome and rather energy-saping itinerary as they travel to the different venues across the country. What a delightful touch from Maliselo to set off Blessing Piri, who blasted high into the city end. But just another constant reminder of the threats that Herentals can pose when they are in the attack. And Chegutu Pirates have to keep the faith. With 10 minutes to play, can they get 2 goals without reply, or even better? Of course, they had a proud home record last season at their home ground, Fupajena Stadium. Some work is being done there, and some of their rivals have been taking the mickey out of them, Mr. T, just saying that they are preparing for life back in Division 1 football. I don't know how that one will pan out in the end, but as things stand, it's not looking good for Zinzare Zaire.
Wriggling in agony there. There's no insinuations of time wasting there, given what's at stake for Chegutu Pirates. But for the students and their merry band of fans, it has been a good Wednesday afternoon of football. They would have enjoyed what they've seen from their team, who will rise up to third on the log, which is quite an impressive turn of events for a team that will now have gone 3 matches on the trot. You did speak about that 9-match unbeaten run, probably the foundation for what is turning out to be a relatively decent season, and this will be their best ever finish should they stay third in the domestic top flight.
So a season of good things for the students. They patiently work their way to be counted among some of the more formidable forces in the league. But Aaron Zangai will be looking to rejoin the fray with his team attacking and peppering that Herentals goal. They haven't had any shot in the second half, and Takuzwa Chikosi is there to frustrate them further. Bit of ping-pong football at play now. It's been the set off Dombo. A poor communication between goalkeeper and defender there. Milanzi does well, but loses it out to Mupuma. Maliselo is stopped as well. Anyone's game, really, from the look of things. And Ditima wins a free kick.
Time fast running out for Zinza. Could this be the beginning of the end for the team from Chegutu? The rain hasn't quite come down here at Rufaro, but it could be raining on Cheguru's parade in the context of their 2024 Casalaga Premier Soccer League season. But it's not over until the fat lady sings. It's an old adage. And a set piece there for Zinza in a potentially dangerous position. Can they work something up? This will be as good a time as any to pull out one of those repertoires from the training ground and execute it with devastating efficiency. It still wouldn't be enough, but it would be something.
Godfrey Mukambi, the rubber man, one of the old war horses in that rental setup, hasn't seen some action for a while now, but that doesn't take away his passion, flanked by Luke Ruguchu, Christian Nyatondo, William Kapuma, everyone turning into a coach at this moment as they just bark instructions. They know how susceptible their team can be to conceding late goals. The set piece from Ditima is knocked out by Brighton Majarira. Second bite, Ditima does well now. Oh, he does well. He's dancing his way. Can he pull it off? Chitavira, solid, unshaken, and impenetrable as he stands there to make sure that the clean sheet remains intact for the students.
Happy fit there, but he probably needed a bit more stealth and maybe more of a sniper shot approach, given the complexities and the context of where they find themselves.
So just about 5 minutes of regulation time for Cheguru Pirates to try and continue to try and ensure rather that their destiny and fate remains in their hands, at least for now. And now they're just camped in the opposition's half as the Rentals commit all their men to defensive work. And they do get a free kick for that challenge. On Koda. So yeah, not for the first time this afternoon, the stretcher bed has had to be called out again. And Peter Chota seems to be in pain, while some of the Cheguru Pirates fans look on. And that man there near the man in the reflector, John Joao, enjoying himself in enemy territory. Celestino Paul Benza looks at the clock. So obviously that puts paid maybe to a suggestion that some play acting could be in motion. Every minute counts at this moment. And yeah, I think the writing is on the wall, Mr. Teach, for some of these stakeholders. You can't see that defiance anymore, that hope maybe just evaporating right in front of their eyes as reality begins to kick in, that despite their best hopes and expectations and strongest beliefs, this really could be game up.
I think that looks more like acceptance more than defiance, because reality can be harsh, and this is something that Cheguru Pirates face right now, the end of the road in terms of their life here in the domestic top flight. They have entertained in glimpses, but they haven't delivered consistently. And you know, it's not just about turning on the power in the last couple of games, but it's about the league marathon, as you might have it.
Yeah, really, this sort of sums up the afternoon for Cheguru Pirates. As Tinashe Mavudzi And for some of their instructors, Godfrey Tamirepi and Nawana Dube, they've seen most of what you can expect in the life of a professional footballer. And this afternoon must be leaving them with a feeling of dread and maybe regret even. It's very ominous reading for Zinzare Zaire, but for the students, it is very promising. A bit of fancy footwork there. That was very high and reckless from Tinotenda Chiunye, who caught Tinashe Mpuma with a very late challenge. And
our 90 minutes almost up here. We'll wait to see what the fourth official puts up on the board, and that could be the time that Chequered Pirates could have standing between them and their future in the domestic top flight.
So 3 minutes will be added on to this matchday 32 clash. 3 minutes for Herentals to close shop and just see the game out. 3 minutes that could turn into deep reflection for Chequered Pirates and their fans. Just 3 minutes to reflect on what could have been. The flag that is flying high today is the pink and navy blue of Herentals. And N0VEMBER cracking a good one with his team there. Gerald Benza, of course, the team manager, and Stephen Mudawapi, who's the assistant coach to Celestino Paul Benza and the man in charge of the under-20 side. And Tinashe Mpuma, the goal scorer, is stretchered off. Hopefully it's nothing serious. And there will be a bit of deliberation between the referee and his fourth official outside your picture on the near side here. And I guess that is something we never thought. And there you go, a penny for your thoughts. Shu Gamalaga Zaire. Oh man. The double-edged sword, that is football. Joy and pain. It all comes with a package of the world's most beautiful game as we wind down to the conclusion of the 2024 Casalaga Premier Soccer League season. And as things stand right now, Herentals on. The team had done some fine work there, but Milanzi and company can try to give one final push to try and equalize at the death, if they do have the time. But Herentals can be very solid in defense. And now incisive passing as Eric King Dombo finds a blessing Majarira. So as things stand, Herentals will rise to 48 points. Should be quite a decent tally for a team that was supposedly in transition following the exit of Kumbira Mutwekuziva, who joined Ngeze Platinum Stars as assistant coach to take Shore Chiragui, the outgoing champions, of course. We're in action this afternoon against Chikirin at Babafield Stadium. And now even that banner of the Zaire fans, the Chequered Pirates fans, seems to have given up the fight now as it hangs and sags in despair as we play the final minute of additional time. Tinashe Mpuma links up Majarira, who finds Dombo, who tries a bit of showboating, unnecessary at times for such a brilliant talent. So the referee calls time and it's full time. Herentals grab maximum points. And for Chequered Pirates, it must all feel like they're super fan today, raining on their parade. On an afternoon of great significance as far as their prospects and survival in the top flight is concerned. Tinashe Mpuma with a goal, 47 minutes. 2 minutes after resumption. And despite the pain, there is time to salute and declare undying love for their team. The Rentals will celebrate. 3 points is welcome any day. Tinotenda Benza wore the armband, led the team from the front today, and their Fortune Boni, Secretary General of Scotland Football Club, congratulating some of the Rentals officials. And Tinashe Mpuma, of course, will be feted like a king along there with Tinotenda Chiwunye, who is one of the greatest Christians, one of the brightest talents that were tipped to really make things light up this season. And now at full time, the Rentals have secured the win by a 1-0 over Cheguru Pirates, who now have to hope for a sudden turn of events in the other matches and hope against hope, really, that results in other matches and maybe positivity in their last 2 games. But I will tell you, those hopes have evaporated. And so that's been the first piece of action from match day 32 here from Rufaro Stadium. Rentals beating Cheguru Pirates by 1-0. We will now go down to pitch side and join Mr. Teach as he gets the reaction from the coaches.
We will be joined by the respective coaches shortly. And you guys move up into that top 4 position that you said was part of your ambition. Maybe, first of all, your reaction to the performance and the result from your boys this afternoon.
Yeah, I'm very happy. I'm very happy with the performance, especially considering that we played another game only a few days ago. And we're having this performance on a Wednesday. I'm very happy with that performance, and I know that we're going to get there.
And looking at the win today, where do you think it was generated today? Where do you think you got it right?
Yeah, as I said earlier on, that keeping the clean sheet is very pivotal for a win. Because all you needed was just a single goal. And scoring 1 goal and keeping a clean sheet, we won the game 1-0, and that is where we got it right. So we're going to keep on working very hard to try and keep those clean sheets.
2 games remaining now before you close out the 2024 season. Are the objectives for those remaining 2 games?
Yeah, we need to continue winning the games. We started badly, but we're supposed to finish at a good note so that at least people will remember that this season was not a failure for us. And already for us on this position is a positive, because we started very badly. So going in those two games, now we don't have any pressure. We're going away, even if we collect a single point, for us to be good. So I know that we're going to do that.
Thank you very much, Coach, and once again, congratulations on the win today.
Thank you very much.
That is the Rentals coach, Celestino Paul Benza. Joining me now is the losing coach, Maxwell Takaendesa Jongwe. Coach, I know probably a lot of emotions that you're experiencing right now, not the result that you wanted. Let's start with where you think you guys lost it this afternoon.
It was a bad day in the office. It was a bad day. We didn't play our usual football, especially how we were playing of late. If I looked at the game, both teams It was a bad advert for Zimbabwean football. We created one meaningful chance. It was a bad game.
I mean, before we were talking about your impressive run coming into this game, those 3 wins in a row, obviously coming to an end. It's all but over for you guys. How are you feeling, and what are you thinking going into the last 2 matches of the season? Do you still have any hope that you guys could...
Quite sad. Mathematically we might be in, but we've made our life very difficult and miserable at the same time. This game was not as tough it appeared, but even as the opponents, like I said, I wouldn't say they played good football. We exhibited bad Zimbabwean football.
All right, tough luck, coach, and good luck for the remaining 2 matches for Chequeto Pirates.
Thank you so much.
All right, up next we will be talking to our man of the match, and he joins us now. A fantastic win for you and the boys today. Where do you think you guys got it right today? Where do you think you guys got it right today in terms of the win? Right. Saka muchitarisa season yenyu, pane pamakamboita 9 matches musingarohwi, then zvambopidiguka, now you're going on 3 matches muchihwina. Chii chachinja mudressing room meme kuti muzokwanise kunge muchiita 3 wins. That's mamu top 4, and mangosiya pa number 3 ne goal difference. Chii chachinja mudressing room menyu?
Tagadzirisa defensive mode yedu, and then tangowira noti tovhara 0 atishaye 1 goal.
Tichitasa magames 2 asara izvozvizvi muri kutarisira chii?
Collect my maximum points.
But thank you very much, and Dr. Ucheno celebrated my teammates, and congratulations on being our man of the match.
Thank you.
And that brings the curtain down on our coverage here at Rufaro Stadium. It is Rentals 1, Chequeto Pirates 0. A result that all but virtually ends Zinzare Zaire's stay in the domestic top flight. From us here at ZTM Prime, it is goodbye and good night.